Welcome back to our channel. Today we bring you one of the most inspiring stories of our time. This is the story of a man who failed again and again, but never gave up. A man who was rejected from jobs, rejected from universities, and laughed at for his ideas. Yet he became one of the richest and most respected businessmen in the world. This is the life story of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba Group. A man who showed the world that you don't need money or connections to succeed. You need vision, courage, and persistence. Let's begin this powerful journey. Chapter 1. Born with nothing, but full of dreams. Jack Ma was born on September 10, 1964, in Hangzhou, China. His real name was Ma Yun. His family was poor. They didn't have much money and life was very simple. His father was a traditional musician and storyteller. But they didn't earn much. Life was hard in China at that time. Jack grew up during a period when China was changing fast, but opportunities were still very few. As a young boy, Jack was curious and loved learning. But he was not a good student. In fact, he failed many subjects in school, especially math. He once said, "I was never good at mathematics, never passed the exams easily." But Jack had something that many others didn't have: confidence and a strong desire to learn from life. When he was just 12 years old, something happened that changed his life forever. Tourists from around the world started coming to Hangzhou after the Chinese government opened the city to foreign visitors. Young Jack saw an opportunity. Every morning for 9 years, Jack would ride his bicycle to a nearby hotel. He offered free English tours to foreigners just so he could practice speaking English. He wasn't paid, but he didn't care. He wanted to learn. He wanted to grow. That's how he became fluent in English, even before he studied it in school. He made friends from different countries. One of them even gave him the nickname Jack, which he later kept as his English name. This was the first step of his journey, offering something for free just to learn. It showed that he was not afraid of hard work, and he believed in learning from people and from life. Chapter 2. A long road of rejections and failures. After finishing school, Jack Ma faced one of the most difficult phases of his life, trying to find a job. He applied for over 30 jobs, and every single time he was rejected. He once applied for a job at KFC when it opened in his city. There were 24 applicants. 23 were hired. Jack was the only one rejected. He also applied to become a police officer. They said, "You're not fit for the job." He even tried to get into Harvard University. Not once, not twice, but 10 times. And all 10 times he was rejected. But instead of giving up, Jack used these failures as fuel for his dreams. He believed that failure is not the end. It's part of the journey. To earn money, Jack began working as an English teacher. His salary was just $12 per month. He didn't make much, but he loved teaching. Why? Because it kept him close to people, to learning, and to communication. Jack often said, "I told my students you have to work hard. If I can survive, anyone can survive." But deep down, Jack Ma wanted to do something bigger. He wanted to build something that would help millions of people, and he was looking for an idea, a chance to turn his dream into reality. That chance came in 1995 when he went to the United States as a translator. It was his first time using the internet. He searched for the word beer online and found results from many countries, but none from China. He tried searching for China, but again very few results appeared. That's when it hit him. Jack thought, why is there no information about my country on the internet? What if we could connect Chinese businesses with the world using the internet? He rushed back to China, excited. He had no money, no technical skills, and no team. But he had a vision. He gathered 17 friends in his small apartment and shared his idea. They were confused. Some thought he was crazy, but a few believed in him. Together, they started a company called China Pages, his first internet business. But it failed. Big companies didn't trust a small group with no experience. Investors didn't see the future he was dreaming of. Still, Jack Ma was not afraid to fail again. He believed something better was waiting. And just a few years later, in 1999, he would start a new company from his apartment, a company that would change his life forever, a company called Alibaba. Chapter 3: The Birth of Alibaba, a Dream. Built in a small apartment, after the failure of China Pages, most people would have given up. But not Jack Ma. He believed every failure was simply a lesson in disguise. Instead of quitting, he chose to start again, with more clarity, more purpose, and a deeper understanding of what the internet could become. It was the year 1999. Jack Ma was 35 years old. He gathered 17 of his closest friends and former students in his tiny apartment in Hangzhou. There were no chairs, no desks, just the floor, a few notebooks, and a dream. He stood in front of them and said, "In the future, people will shop online. Businesses will sell and grow using the internet. We will create a platform that connects Chinese businesses with the world." Most of them were confused. Some had never used a computer. Others didn't fully understand the internet. But Jack had one thing stronger than any doubt: his belief. His belief in the power of connection, and his belief in the potential of small businesses. And with that, they started a company called Alibaba. Why the name Alibaba? Because it's easy to pronounce, works in any language, and reminds people of the story Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. In that story, the magic words "Open Sesame" unlocked treasure. Jack wanted Alibaba to unlock treasure for small businesses, but the journey was far from easy. They had no money, no connections, and no experience in business or technology. Jack and his team worked day and night. They didn't even have a business plan. What they had was a mission: to help small Chinese companies go global. They believed these businesses deserved a chance, and the internet could give it to them. At the beginning, no one believed in Alibaba. Big investors laughed. Banks refused to give loans. Many said, "You're too small to compete with big companies." But Jack said, "We are small, but we are fast. We are poor, but we have dreams. They may be strong in money, but we are strong in spirit." The first version of Alibaba was very simple. It allowed small Chinese businesses to create web pages, show their products, and connect with buyers all over the world. The site had spelling mistakes, slow loading speeds, and basic design. But it worked. Soon, more and more businesses signed up. Word spread. Alibaba started growing, slowly but steadily. Then came their first big break. In 2000, a Japanese investor named Masayoshi Son, founder of SoftBank, visited Jack Ma. After talking for just 5 minutes, he agreed to invest $20 million in Alibaba. Why? Because he saw something in Jack Ma that others couldn't: vision, courage, and leadership. With that money, Alibaba began hiring top engineers, improving the platform, and expanding rapidly. Jack focused not on profits, but on creating value for the users. He wanted to make sure that every small business had a chance to shine. But Alibaba still faced challenges. Government rules were unclear. The internet in China was still new, and international competition was growing fast. But Jack never wavered. He told his team, "We are not afraid of pressure. We are not afraid of competitors. We only fear losing our mission." And slowly, Alibaba became a trusted name. A platform where millions of small businesses could connect, grow, and dream bigger than ever before. This was just the beginning. Jack had built a bridge between China and the world. But he wasn't done yet. The next challenge was even bigger, changing the way China shops forever. Chapter 4. The War with eBay, Creating Taobao and Winning China's Heart. By 2003, Alibaba had become one of the most trusted B2B business-to-business platforms in China. But Jack Ma wasn't satisfied. He saw a bigger opportunity, the power of consumer-to-consumer C2C commerce. In simple words, he realized that soon, everyday people would want to buy and sell things online, just like businesses were doing on Alibaba. At that time, the biggest online marketplace in China was EachNet, which had been bought by the American giant eBay. eBay had already conquered many countries and now wanted to control the Chinese market too. They believed their global brand and money power would make them unbeatable. But Jack Ma saw the problem. eBay didn't understand the Chinese people. Their website was in English-style layout, slow to load, and customer service was weak. They didn't offer free listings, and they lacked the human touch that Chinese users cared about deeply. Jack knew what he had to do: build a Chinese platform for Chinese people. One that felt friendly, fun, and free. A platform that truly understood the culture, habits, and dreams of its users. And so, in May 2003, while the SARS virus was spreading across Asia and people were locked inside their homes, Jack and his team launched Taobao.com from a small office. They had no fancy launch party, no big budget, just a simple website, passionate developers, and a crazy dream: to take down eBay. The name Taobao means searching for treasure, and Jack made sure the site felt like a digital treasure hunt. It was colorful, playful, and free to use. Sellers didn't have to pay to list products. Buyers could chat with sellers using Aliwangwang, a new instant messaging tool which made online shopping feel like a real market. At first, eBay ignored them. They thought Taobao was too small to worry about. But Jack Ma had a plan. He told his team, "We are like a crocodile in the Yangtze River. They are a shark in the ocean. If we fight them in the ocean, we will lose. But if we fight them in the river, we win." And that's exactly what he did. Taobao focused completely on Chinese users. They updated features every day, answered customer questions instantly, and even added fun games and rewards to keep users engaged. Then, Jack did something bold. He promised that Taobao would remain free for the first 3 years, while eBay continued to charge sellers. This strategy exploded Taobao's growth. Sellers and buyers began flocking to the platform. eBay realized too late. They launched eBay China with a huge budget and foreign managers. But they didn't adapt. Their strategy didn't change, and their system was still not friendly for Chinese users. By 2006, the war was over. eBay shut down its China site. Taobao had won. Jack Ma didn't celebrate with champagne. He gathered his team and said, "We didn't win because we were better at technology. We won because we listened to our users. We gave people what they wanted, and we never stopped improving." This victory was more than business. It showed that local understanding beats global size, that passion beats money, that a small Chinese company with big dreams could beat a global giant by staying true to its roots. After this, Taobao became a part of everyday life in China. It turned small sellers into entrepreneurs. It helped farmers sell produce, students sell crafts, and families find everything they needed from their phones. And for Jack Ma, this was just the beginning of changing the way China lives. Chapter 5. The Birth of Alipay, Fighting Banks, Building Trust, and Changing China Forever. After the massive success of Taobao, Jack Ma noticed a serious problem that could stop his dream from growing. People wanted to shop online, sellers wanted to sell, but nobody trusted each other. Customers were afraid to send money to strangers they didn't know. Sellers were afraid to ship items before getting paid. China's banking system was slow, limited, and not built for e-commerce. This was a huge challenge. If people couldn't trust online payments, Taobao and Alibaba would fail. So Jack Ma decided to solve the problem himself. He and his team came up with a radical idea: create a third-party payment system, one that could hold the buyer's money safely until the product was delivered. If the buyer received the product and was happy, the money would be released to the seller. If not, it would be refunded. This idea would protect both sides and create trust in online shopping. That idea became Alipay. At first, almost everyone said Jack was crazy. Banks laughed at him. Government officials were confused. Even his own team was scared. They told him, "We don't have a license to run a payment business. What if we get shut down?" But Jack Ma replied calmly, "If someone has to go to jail for this, let it be me. I'm ready. But if we don't do this, e-commerce in China will never grow." That courage changed everything. Jack launched Alipay quietly in 2004, without waiting for permission. He believed that doing the right thing for the people was more important than waiting for approval from the top. At first, users were unsure, but slowly, people saw how it worked. They realized, my money is safe. I can shop without fear. I can return things if I don't like them. And just like that, trust was born. Alipay became the backbone of Taobao and later all of Alibaba. It made online shopping possible in China. It turned hesitant buyers into loyal customers. It turned students, farmers, and housewives into confident online sellers. As Alipay grew, banks began to feel threatened. They tried to block it, challenge it, even shut it down. But Jack didn't back down. He kept improving Alipay. He made it faster, safer, and more convenient. By 2007, millions of people were using Alipay, not just on Taobao, but for paying bills, booking tickets, and more. It was no longer just a payment tool. It became a financial revolution. Jack Ma had done what banks failed to do for years. He brought modern digital payments to the common people. He gave power to small businesses, made daily life easier, and built something far greater than a website. Later, Alipay would become part of Ant Financial, one of the largest financial tech companies in the world. But back then, it was just a bold idea, fueled by Jack's determination to solve real problems. In his words, "We are not competing with banks. We are helping people who banks forgot." And that's why people loved Jack Ma. Not because he was rich, not because he was famous, but because he always thought like a problem solver, not a businessman. He once said, "I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a finance guy. I'm just a teacher with a dream." And with that dream, He gave China something priceless: trust in the Internet. Chapter 6. Conquering the World. Alibaba goes global and breaks every record. By 2010, Jack Ma was no longer just a local hero. He was becoming a global force. Alibaba and Alipay had changed how business was done in China. But Jack Ma had a new dream: to go beyond China, to take Alibaba to the world stage. Most Chinese companies at the time were focused only on the local market. They believed global expansion was too risky, too expensive, or too complicated. But Jack thought differently. He believed that small businesses, no matter where they were, from India to Africa to South America, deserved a platform to sell their goods globally. So Jack and his team began improving Alibaba.com, which was already a B2B platform, business to business, connecting global buyers and Chinese manufacturers. But he wanted more. He wanted Alibaba to be the bridge between small businesses across the world. Jack started hiring international experts, investing in global technologies, and forming partnerships with companies abroad. He opened Alibaba offices in the US, Europe, and Southeast Asia. His mission was clear: help small businesses grow no matter where they are. But while Jack was going global, something even bigger was brewing: the plan to take Alibaba public. Alibaba was already making huge profits, but Jack wanted to raise more money, to build better infrastructure, to invest in technology, to grow faster. So in 2014, he announced Alibaba's initial public offering, IPO, and chose to do it not in China, but on the New York Stock Exchange. This shocked many. It was bold, risky, and historic. On September 19, 2014, Alibaba went public in the U.S. The results? It became the biggest IPO in world history at that time. The company raised $25 billion in a single day. Jack Ma became the richest man in China overnight. It wasn't just a financial win, it was a cultural moment. A Chinese company built from nothing with no Silicon Valley backing had beaten every record on Wall Street. Newspapers around the world called it the Chinese Amazon. But Jack didn't agree. He said, "Amazon is a giant. We are an ecosystem. We empower others to grow." He wasn't interested in competing with big companies. He was building a platform where millions of small businesses could succeed. And Alibaba wasn't stopping at just shopping or B2B. Jack's team was expanding into cloud computing with Alibaba Cloud, entertainment with Youku, China's YouTube, and logistics with Cainiao, a company that could deliver packages to the most remote villages in China. All this growth made Jack Ma a global celebrity. He was invited to speak at major events like the World Economic Forum, Harvard, and Stanford. World leaders, CEOs, and billionaires wanted to meet him. But Jack remained humble. He once said, "I never thought I'd be rich. I never thought I'd be famous. I only thought, if I can help 200 small businesses, I'll be happy." And yet, he had helped millions. Despite all the attention, Jack never forgot his roots. He still used simple language when giving speeches. He still laughed like a school teacher. He still believed in doing good before doing business. In one interview, when asked about success, Jack said, "It's not about how much money you make. It's about how many people you've helped." While the world celebrated Alibaba's IPO, Jack quietly prepared for the next phase. Because for him, this was never about money. It was about creating something meaningful. And the journey wasn't over yet. Chapter 7. The Farewell of a Visionary. Jack Ma's Shocking Exit and New Mission. After conquering the world of business, after building an empire that changed e-commerce forever, Jack Ma made a decision that stunned the globe. On September 10th, 2019, the day of his 55th birthday, Jack Ma officially stepped down as chairman of Alibaba. Yes, the man who had built Alibaba from scratch, who had once taught English for $12 a month, walked away from one of the most powerful companies in the world. Why would someone leave after reaching such incredible success? Jack's answer was simple and deeply meaningful. I don't want to die in my office. I want to return to education. That was my first love. That will be my last mission. Let's go back a bit. Jack had always believed that power should be shared and rotated, not held forever. He often said, "A good leader knows when to leave." If I am still working at Alibaba at 65, I will regret it. And he stayed true to that promise. While most CEOs grow old at their desks, holding on to power and control, Jack Ma planned his exit for years. He trained his team. He created a culture that didn't depend on just one man. And when the time came, he stepped away with a smile. He wasn't retiring. He was returning. Returning to the dream he once gave up, teaching. After leaving Alibaba, Jack launched the Jack Ma Foundation, focused on education, entrepreneurship, and environmental sustainability. He began visiting rural schools, meeting teachers, and helping children in poor regions of China and Africa. He started new initiatives to promote digital education, helping kids learn through technology. He said, "If you want to change the world, invest in teachers. They build the future." Jack began working with global organizations to improve education systems. From remote villages in China to schools in Kenya, Jack Ma became known not just as a billionaire entrepreneur, but as a philanthropic teacher. But life wasn't all smooth after his exit. As Jack became more vocal about changes in society, finance, and business policies, he faced increasing scrutiny from government authorities. One of his speeches in 2020 criticized the current financial systems as outdated and restrictive for innovation. Days later, his company Ant Group's massive IPO was halted by the Chinese government. It was a turning point. Jack disappeared from public view for several months, sparking global media speculation. Was he silenced? Was he safe? Was he banned from speaking out? But in 2021, he reappeared quietly, not at a business conference or a TV show, but in a rural school surrounded by young children. He was smiling, teaching, encouraging. This, more than anything else, showed the world where his heart truly belonged. He had chosen purpose over power. Jack continued to travel the world, visiting Japan, Thailand, and Europe, meeting educators, scientists, and young change-makers. He kept a low profile, but his mission remained bold. We should not just build businesses, we should build hope. Even though he had stepped down, Alibaba continued to thrive, thanks to the culture and team he had built. His legacy wasn't just a company, it was a movement that empowered millions of entrepreneurs, shopkeepers, farmers, students, and dreamers. Today, Jack Ma is more than just a name. He's a symbol of resilience, a symbol of daring to dream, a symbol of walking away at the peak, not because you have to, but because you choose to do something even bigger. He once said, "Success is not about having more. It's about doing more for others." And through every phase of his life, from the classroom to the boardroom and back to the classroom, Jack Ma proved that true greatness isn't about what you keep. It's about what you give away. Chapter 8. Jack Ma's beliefs, daily habits, and the mindset behind his success. As we dive deeper into the life of Jack Ma, we begin to uncover something more powerful than money or fame: his mindset. Jack Ma's journey was shaped not just by events, but by the beliefs and habits he lived by every single day. He wasn't born with privilege. He didn't study abroad. He didn't have connections. But he had something far greater, a way of thinking that turned obstacles into opportunities. Let's take a closer look at what Jack Ma truly believed, how he lived, and how these principles helped him build one of the most successful businesses in the world. 1. Believe in the power of rejection. Jack Ma was famously rejected again and again in life. He applied to jobs and was turned down by dozens of companies. Even KFC rejected him. But instead of feeling broken, he learned something powerful. Every rejection is a gift. It teaches you something. It prepares you for something better. He trained himself to smile after rejection, to get up and try again. This habit gave him the emotional strength to face the hardest parts of life and business. 2. Think small. Act big. Jack always said, "If you can help 10 people, you are already successful. Don't wait to become a billionaire to make a difference." When he started Alibaba, he was focused on small businesses, the forgotten people who needed help going online. While others chased big companies, Jack focused on farmers, shopkeepers, and local sellers. This small-first thinking became his biggest strength. 3. Learn from everyone, even your enemies. Unlike many business leaders, Jack didn't view competition as war. He believed in learning from competitors, not destroying them. He admired companies like Amazon and eBay, but didn't try to copy them. Instead, he asked, "What are they missing? What can we do better for our people?" This mindset helped Alibaba become unique, not just another version of an American company. 4. Stay curious and keep learning. Even after becoming a billionaire, Jack read books, traveled to new places, and asked questions like a student. He once said, "I'm not a tech guy, I'm not a finance guy, but I am always learning." He believed that humility and curiosity were the real keys to staying ahead. In fact, he loved learning from young people and often said that the youth would shape the future more than any government or company. 5. Create a culture, not just a company. At Alibaba, Jack didn't just build software or systems. He built a family. He introduced unusual ideas, like employees doing group dancing and singing every week. He wanted people to have fun at work. He said, "Customers first, employees second, shareholders third." This belief created a loyal, motivated team that stayed strong even when times were tough. 6. Use failure as fuel. Jack saw failure as a tool, not a tragedy. When Alibaba faced its first major loss, he didn't panic. He told his team, "This is good. Now we can learn what not to do." He believed that failing fast and failing forward was the only way to grow. Even when a major IPO was canceled or a product flopped, he never stopped moving forward. 7. Live simply. Think deeply. Despite his fame and wealth, Jack Ma lived a very simple life. He didn't buy flashy cars or expensive mansions. He spent his time with his family, reading, playing music, and walking in nature. He said, "Happiness doesn't come from money. It comes from doing things you believe in." He believed in balance between work and life, success and peace. That's why, even after leaving Alibaba, he didn't chase more money. He chased meaning. 8. Prepare for the future, but live in the moment. Jack often talked about technology, AI, and the fast-changing world, but he also believed we should not fear the future. Instead, we should. Be flexible. Be kind. Be lifelong learners. He once said, "The best way to predict the future is to teach children well today." That's why he spent so much of his later life in schools, planting seeds for the next generation. Conclusion: a life built on beliefs. What made Jack Ma truly different wasn't his business skills. It was his heart, his values, and his daily habits. He believed in never giving up, staying kind, thinking long-term, and lifting others up. And these weren't just words. They were his way of life. He showed us that anyone, from any background, can build something great. And more importantly, he showed us that success is not about being the best in the world, but being the best for the world. Conclusion: Jack Ma's vision for the future. Jack Ma's life story is one of overcoming adversity, breaking barriers, and constantly striving to leave the world better than he found it. Through his business acumen, innovative spirit, and commitment to empowering others, he built an empire that will continue to shape the global business landscape for years to come. But perhaps the greatest lesson we can learn from Jack Ma is his ability to see beyond the immediate. He didn't just want to make money. He wanted to change society, create opportunities, and inspire future generations to dream bigger and aim higher. Jack Ma's story is proof that nothing is impossible when you have a vision, passion, and the courage to keep going, no matter how difficult the journey may be. We hope this story motivated you and helped you improve your English listening skills. If you enjoyed this journey and want to keep learning with powerful stories like this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another inspiring story. Thank you for being with us today. Keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next video.